Hi and welcome to a little video on 5 things that can help you get through the tough and tense times as a couple over the next few months. So I'm Michaela Thomas and I'm a clinical psychologist and couples therapist. I'm also the author of the book The Lasting Connection, which is about developing love and compassion for yourself and your partner. So I wanted to think about some tips today, around 5 kind of tips to help you get through, to survive and get through this tough time. If you're already surviving more than fine and you think that you're having a great time together, great. You can still use these 5 tips to deepen your connection even further. So here we go. So tip number 1 is to think a little bit about having a reality check together as a couple. Just saying to each other, this is just really hard. This has been a big strain on our relationship, going through potential homeschooling or furlough or maybe job loss, maybe worrying about your loved ones. This is just hard. And when life is hard, love is hard. There's a strong correlation between what's going on for you in your life and the life stress is weighing you down, and the well-being of you is correlated with the well-being of your relationship. So we have to have that reality check that this is just hard, so no wonder you might be having a hard time in your relationship. No wonder if you're having more arguments or struggling with tension. So that first reality check can just help take some of that pressure off you, for you to not maybe jump to conclusion that that means your relationship is doomed or that you're doing something wrong. This is just hard. Tip number 2 is to use, and tip 2 and 3 actually are connected, is to kind of use a sense of gratitude. So maybe saying thank you to things that your partner does for you. And the more you do that, the more you say, thank you for helping me out with that, or thank you for being patient with me when I was really irritable this morning. The more you say thank you for the little things that you appreciate them doing, the more likely they are to do the same thing. So again, with the reality check that this is hard, it's more important than ever to cultivate a compassionate climate in your relationship. So what you will grow in your compassionate kind of garden, in your relationship garden, will then need to be cultivated and watered in order for you to see some nice growth in that garden. It doesn't mean that you have to say thank you for everything. Just maybe once a day, once a week, thinking, has there been anything my partner has done that I'm appreciative of, however small or fleeting. And it's okay to also, at the same time, be irritated with them for things that they haven't done. But focusing on the strong sides, focusing on the positives, and that's more likely to grow. So that's the second tip, saying thank you and showing appreciation and gratitude for your partner. The third thing is related to that, which is I'm sorry. So if you can say I'm sorry to help apologize and repair any ruptures that will occur between you, again, coming back to the reality check, that's probably quite likely to happen. Neither of you are going to be your best selves at the moment. Neither of you are going to be, your most compassionate selves and lovely people. You're probably going to be more like your goblin selves, which is what I've called that kind of irritated little version of you that is quite keen to score points and win an argument. And that's okay. Those come out when we're under pressure. So saying I'm sorry can help to repair any ruptures that occur along the way, especially when you pair that with the thank you. So I'm sorry I snapped at you this morning. Thank you for being patient with me when I haven't had much sleep. They can be a great combo. If anything, those 2 tips, if you do nothing else from this list today, you'll get quite far with just thank you and I'm sorry. So the 4th tip I have is to think about what do you need. So needs and wants are really important to discuss in your partnership. And they can be really difficult, especially for women who've been trained to not really express their needs and wants and maybe don't even know what you want and need. But asking as a kind of routine question to your partner, what do you want this week? Or what do you need this week to be well? If you start to open up that kind of dialogue, they're more likely to make space for your wants and needs as well, and it starts to be reciprocated. So wanting to give out what you most want to receive. And that can be like a weekly little check-in saying, what do you need this week? Oh, well, I need more sleep, or I need some alone time, or I need a walk where I'm not being pestered by kids, or I need to sit upstairs by myself and read a book. And that could be slightly different to the wants, which are more about the extra things. The needs are your crucial things to be physically and mentally well. The wants might be the extra things, like I would want to see a friend, because we can still do that in a socially distant way in the current times. So that's a really important negotiation. But if you don't say what you want or need, and you don't ask what your partner wants to need, there can't be any negotiation taking place. So the last tip I have, number 5, is just to say, I'm listening. What's going on for you? I'm listening. How do you feel today? I'm listening. And actually mean that. Show them your full attention as much as you can. And this is where quality matters more than quantity. It can be really meaningful to give your partner undivided attention for 15 minutes, where you really try to pay attention to what they're saying and taking it on board and saying, I'm listening. So we're not thinking that connection is all about being there for your partner completely non-stop around the clock, because we all have a lot on our plates at the moment. So it's just little pieces of connection here and there where you're just saying, I'm listening, what's going on for you? So I hope that that's been helpful. These are quick 5 tips, and you don't have to do all of them every day. It's just maybe thinking from this list. The reality check, that can be something we do quite often, but when we pair that together with the thank you and the I'm sorry, that can be really helpful to get through those hard times. And then lastly, thinking about what do you need and saying, I'm actually really listening. What do you want? What do you need? I'm here and I'm listening. And that can help you get a better exchange in your relationship. If you want to deep dive into these things, you can check out my book, The Lasting Connection, and pre-order that on Amazon at the moment. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. And you can go to my website to send me an email. That's the thomasconnection.co.uk. Thank you for listening.